Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Prostrations to Ramana, shining as the self in all beings. We start today's satsang with a prayer by Srimati Sapna Ganesh. This will be followed by the chanting of Muktaka trayam by Sri Nandakumarji.
Dakshinamurti Sarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Ramanacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Vande Guru Paramparam Vande Guru Paramparam Shuklam Bharadaram Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vignopashantaye Angikam Bhuvanam Yasya Vachikam Sarva Vangmayam Aharyam Chandrataradi Tam Namah Satvikam Shivam Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Namo Ramana to everyone.
Ekam Aksharam Hruvi Nirankaram Bhasate Swayam Likyate Katham Hridaya Kuhara Madhye Kevalam Brahma Matram Yaham Maham Iti Sakshat Atmarupena Bhati Hrudi Vishamanasa Swam Chinvata Majjata Pavana Chalana Rodha Atmanishto Bhavatvam Deham Mrunmayavat Jadatmakam Aham Buddhirnatasyastyatu Naham Tattata Bhava Shukti Samai Siddhatma Sadbhava Oham Bhavayuta Kuto Varadhiya Drishtatmanishtatmana Soham Spurtitaya Arunachala Shivaha Purno Vibhati Swayam Soham Spurtitaya Arunachala Shivaha Purno Vibhati Swayam. Namo Ramana.
We will now have the chanting of Upadesa Saram. कर्तुराज्ञया प्राप्यते फलं कर्म किं परं कर्म तज्जडं कृतिमहोदधौ पतनकारणं फलमशाश्वतं गतिनिरोधकम् ईश्वरार्पितं नेच्छया कृतं चित्तशोधकं मुक्तिसाधकं कायवाङ्मनः कार्यमुत्तमं पूजनं जपश्चिन्तनं क्रमात् जगत ईषधीयुक्तसेवनम् अष्टमूर्तिभृद्देवपूजनम् उत्तमस्तवादुच्चमन्दतः चित्तजं जप ध्यानमुत्तमम् आज्यधारया स्रोतसा समम् सरलचिन्तनं विरलतः परम् भेदभावनात् सोऽहमित्यसौ भावनाभिदा पावनीमता भावशून्यसद्भावसुस्थितिः भावनाबलात् भक्तिरुत्तमा हृत्स्थले मनः स्वस्थता क्रिया भक्तियोगबोधाश्च निश्चितम्. Namo Ramana. We will now have 3 songs from Ramananjali music. The first one will be presented by Srimati V. Radha and Vallabh Srinivasan. The second song will be presented by Savitri Krishnan and Jaisriram Krishnan. The third song will be presented by Revathi Shankar.
Namo Ramana to all. Today we will be presenting a song written by Sri Muruganar Swami, and the music is by Sri Pugadendi. பூராதகிலத்தும் ஒளி ஒன்றாய் ஒளிர்கின்ற ஆறாமுதானாய் குருநாதா ரமணேஷா. பூராதகிலத்தும் ஒளி ஒன்றாய் ஒளிர்கின்ற ஆறாமுதானாய் குருநாதா ரமணேஷா. குருநாதா ரமணேஷா, குருநாதா ரமணேஷா. எல்லாரொளியெய்தும் படியெட்டு திசைப்பாலார் நல்லாரொடு நாடும் குருநாதா ரமணேஷா. எல்லாரொளியெய்தும் படியெட்டு திசைப்பாலார் நல்லாரொடு நாடும் குருநாதா ரமணேஷா. சொல்லாயுரு பொருளாயுள் தோயும் அவையாவும் அல்லாவது வானாயுன கனியன் எனலாமே. சொல்லாயுரு பொருளாயொளி தோயும் அவையாவும் அல்லாவது வானாயுன கனியன் எனலாமே. ஊராதகிலத்தும் ஒளி ஒன்றாய் ஒளிர்கின்ற ஆரா அமுதானாய் குருநாதா ரமணேஷா. இடநாமனத்துக்கும் பிறப்பிடனாய் இதயத்தோர் நடனாக நடிக்கும் குருநாதா ரமணேஷா. இடநாமனத்துக்கும் பிறப்பிடனாய் இதயத்தோர் நடனாக நடிக்கும் குருநாதா ரமணேஷா. உடனா திருமணியுங்கட தொழிலும் பொருளொன்றே அடலாரது வானாயுன கனியன் எனலாமே. உடனாம் திருக்கடியும் தொழிலும் ஒளியொன்றே அடலாரது வானாயுன கனியன் எனலாமே. ஊராதகிலத்தும் ஒளி ஒன்றாய் ஒளிர்கின்ற ஆரா அமுதானாய் குருநாதா ரமணேஷா. வாராரொளி நானா மதமணி மாலையினூடோர் நாராக நடக்கும் குருநாதா ரமணேஷா. வாராரொளி நானா மதமணி மாலையினூடோர் நாராக நடக்கும் குருநாதா ரமணேஷா. ஊராதகிலத்தும் ஒளி ஒன்றாய் ஒளிர்கின்ற ஆறாமுதானாய் உனக்கனியன் எனலாமே. ஊராதகிலத்தும் ஒளி ஒன்றாய் ஒளிர்கின்ற ஆறாமுதானாய் உனக்கனியன் எனலாமே. ஊராதகிலத்தும் ஒளி ஒன்றாய் ஒளிர்கின்ற ஆரா அமுதானாய் குருநாதா ரமணேஷா, குருநாதா ரமணேஷா, குருநாதா ரமணேஷா. நமோ ரமணா.
ரமணன் பாதம் வாழ்கவே, ரமணன் பாதம் வாழ்கவே. திருச்சுழி என்னும் தலத்து உதித்த செல்வன் பாதம் வாழ்கவே. அருளார் சுந்தரமைய பெற்ற அழகன் பாதம் வாழ்கவே. ரமணன் பாதம் வாழ்கவே, ரமணன் பாதம் வாழ்கவே. சாச சனி சனி பனி சரி சரி ரே கரி கரி சரி சரி சனி ரிபமரி கரி கரி சனி ச. அன்பன் நண்பன் காந்தன் சாந்தன் பிரியன் பெரியோன் அடிகள் பாதம் வாழ்கவே. ரமணன் பாதம் வாழ்கவே, ரமணன் பாதம் வாழ்கவே. ரீகரி சாரி சசனி சனி பனி சரி கரி ரீ மரி மப பனி சனி பப மரி பமனி பசனி பனி பமரி கரி. ஜோதிமயம காட்சி அருளும் சுவாமி பாதம் வாழ்கவே. ஆதி பகவன் அருளை பெற்ற அன்பன் பாதம் வாழ்கவே. ரமணன் பாதம் வாழ்கவே, ரமணன் பாதம் வாழ்கவே. மரி மா பம பனி பனி சனி நி பம பம பசனி சரி சனி நீ நி சனி பப சனி பமரி நி கரி கரி ச. அறிந்தும் அறிந்தோ நாக காட்ட அறிஞன் பாதம் வாழ்கவே. சிறுந்த பக்தி நெறி உணர்த்தும் செம்மல் பாதம் வாழ்கவே. ரமணன் பாதம் வாழ்கவே, ரமணன் பாதம் வாழ்கவே. பமம பரி கரி சரி கரி சனி பதி சரி கரி சரி ம ப நி பனி பனி நீ ரி ம பனி நீ சரி சனி கரி சனி. பாரங்கள் எல்லாம் பரநிஷை போற்று தியாயவன் திருப்பாதம் நேரங்கள் எல்லாம் நினைத்திருவென்று உரைப்போம் பாதம் வாழ்கவே. ரமணன் பாதம் வாழ்கவே, ரமணன் பாதம் வாழ்கவே. நீ சனி நீ பம பசனி நீ சாச பரி பமரி நி சனி கரி சனி சனி பனி ச பனி பமரி கரி ச. அஞ்சி அடைவோர் கபயம் அருளும் அண்ணல் பாதம் வாழ்கவே. நஞ்சும் அமுதமாக கொள்ளும் நாதன் பாதம் வாழ்கவே. ரமணன் பாதம் வாழ்கவே, வாழ்கவே சரி கரி சனி சனி பாப பனி சரி ரிரி கரி ச கரிரி 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 பப பரி சனி சரி நிசா என்னும் கருத்தும் மனம் மடக்க என்போன் பாதம் வாழ்கவே உன்னை காணவும் நூலே நின்று உரைப்போன் பாதம் வாழ்கவே ரமணன் பாதம் வாழ்கவே ரமணன் பாதம் வாழ்கவே சத்குருவே கடவுளே ரமண குரு பரனே அத்தனே அழகனே என் உளத்துறை வரதனே நின் பாதம் வாழ்கவே ரமணன் பாதம் வாழ்கவே ரமணன் பாதம் வாழ்கவே நமோ ரமணாய நமோ ரமணாய நமோ ரமணாய நமோ 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 ரமணாய நமோ ரமணாய நமோ ரமணாய நமோ நமோ யூத கிறிஸ்துவ முகமதியோரும் போதும் குருவே நமோ நமோ யோகானந்த ஓங்கார சிவ போகானந்த நமோ நமோ யௌவன முருமுன் பொங்கிய ஞான திவ்ய ரமணா நமோ நமோ ரமணாய நமோ ரமணாய நமோ ரமணாய நமோ 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 ராகத்வேஷ ராக்ஷத பராம ரட்சி கருணாய நமோ நமோ ருக்காதீன் சதுர்வேதம் காண அக்கரை நின்றோய் நமோ 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 ரமணாய நமோ ரமணாய நமோ ரமணாய நமோ 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 ரமணாய நமோ ரமணாய நமோ ரமணாய நமோ நமோ ஓம் நமோ பகவதே ஸ்ரீ ராமாய.
Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Yesterday, 19th May, it was the day when Bhagavan's mother attained liberation. So I would like to read a small paragraph from the book Mother Alagammal, a saga of enlightenment, written by Sri A.R. Natarajan. Mother's Mukti. Mother's health declined after 1920 due to frequent bouts of diarrhea, which did not respond to treatment. She became weak and could not do her daily work as before. Hence, her youngest son, who had joined the ashram under the name Niranjanananda Swami, used to help her by washing her clothes and assisting her in all work. On 19th of May 1922, her condition became critical. The all-knowing Ramana was aware that the time had come for him to perform his final duty by her as an enlightened son, and more so as her Satguru, and ensure her liberation. Here, one might recall Ramana's prayer to Arunachala in 1914 at Virupaksha cave when mother was in a delirious state, hovering between life and death. Ramana had specifically prayed that not only should Alagammal's life be saved, but further that she should not go through the life and death cycle and should be an enlightened one. Then only then only would there be no need to light the funeral fire to her sacred body. Ramana had also made it clear in his teachings that the only human purpose is to rediscover one's fullness, for which all mental movements have to cease and the mind needs to merge at its source, the heart. That morning, on the most significant day in Mother's life, and for us, 19th May 1922, Ramana went inside her room and sat by her side. He kept her head on his lap, his right hand on her spiritual heart, and the left hand on her head. Even though Mother had crossed many obstructions to self knowledge, from Ramana's account of what happened, it appears that she seems to have had some remnants of tendencies that caused rebirth. What happened for several hours was later described by Ramana himself thus: the vasanas of the previous births and latent tendencies that are seeds for future births came out. She was observing the scenes of the experience of vasanas one after another. As a result of a series of such experiences, she was working them out. At 8 p.m. that night, Mother attained Mahasamadhi. Ramana had literally helped his mother to battle her with her remaining tendencies, and his gracious touch directed her mind back to the heart. At the time of merging of the mind in the heart, there was a slight sound. Ramana waited for some more time to ensure that no tendencies comes up again. When someone remarked that Mother had passed away, Ramana corrected, "No, she did not pass away. She was absorbed. She was absorbed." Later he said, "There is no pollution. Let us eat." Bhagwan, after this incident, brought Mother's body down to the foot of the hill, and he built her a samadhi, and now around that place has grown the Ramanashramam, where we all find peace and joy. I present to you a song written by Manavasi Ramaswamy Iyer on this sacred place, the Matrubhuteshwaram. मातृभूतेश्वरम् आश्रयामि महायोगशक्तिसमेतम् मातृभूतेश्वरम् आश्रयामि महायोगशक्तिसमेतम् मातृभूतेश्वरम् आश्रयामि ध्यातृध्यानध्येयातीत परम् अपाङ्मनोगोचरम् अप्रमेयम् ध्यातृध्यानध्येयातीत परम् अपाङ्मनोगोचरम् अप्रमेयम् मातृभूतेश्वरम् आश्रयामि महायोगशक्तिसमेतम् मातृभूतेश्वरम् आश्रयामि अरुणरमण मातृ अधिष्ठानशोभम् अखिलार्तिभञ्जनम् अघहरम् अरुणरमण मातृ अधिष्ठानशोभम् अखिलार्तिभञ्जनम् अघहरम् सदा वेदघोषज्वलितं सर्वसमृद्धिकरं बह्वन्नप्रदकरं सङ्गीतनिपुणगानामृताभिषिक्तं सार्गधरविनुतरामहृदयरमण मातृभूतेश्वरम् आश्रयामि सदा वेदघोषज्वलितं सर्वसमृद्धिकरं बह्वन्नप्रदकरं सङ्गीतनिपुणगानामृताभिषिक्तं सार्गधरविनुतरामहृदयरमण मातृभूतेश्वरम् आश्रयामि महायोगशक्तिसमेतम् मातृ भाषयामि Namo Ramana. Seeking mother's blessings, we move on to the next portion of the satsang. Here Nandakumarji will be reading out and sharing his thoughts on the book reading of Bhagavan Ramana, the Resplendent Sun.
Namo Ramana. In this, the book reading segment of our satsang, we continue. Yeah. Yeah. In this, the book reading segment of our satsang, we are readings from Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi, the Resplendent Sun, Angles of Vision by our founder president, Shri A.R. Natarajanji. We are embarking on a new contribution, new article by our own president, Dr. Sharda. Listen, the heart is calling. Listen, the heart is calling by Dr. Sharda. Hints of our infinite nature. Hints of our infinite nature. Why does a tiny voice within tell us that there is something more to life than the routine daily grind? Why do we keep catching hints of our infinite nature? Why do we look unfailingly for the unceasing fount of joy, for the unending expanse of peace, for the boundless ocean of love? When all expectations drop away, when all expectation drops away, when memory too is quiet, the silence of the heart swells up. It has been calling to us, this soft, sweet melody, always, always. But we have no time, but we have had no time to listen. We have been too busy with our cares, which we carry heavily on our puny shoulders. So many things that we have to achieve occupy our attention, and the call of the heart goes unheeded. It keeps calling though, unceasingly. It never stops, just because we hadn't bothered to listen. With the infinite patience of love, it keeps calling and waiting for us to cease for a moment from our endless striving. Then we hear it, unknown even to ourselves, when the magic of an evening sky, a silver cloud, a swaying flower, a wafer-like seed falling from a fresh green tree, dancing lightly in the breezeless air against the blue sky, or a rushing wave takes our breath away. In that moment of stillness, we hear the song of the heart. Its peace fills us, and we return to our striving with a softness, a certain tenderness that makes all of life beautiful for a while. This is something very beautiful that Akka brings out in experience here, that after that moment of experience of the heart's call, it also permeates or comes into the routine grind. I'll read that again. And we return to our striving with a softness, a certain tenderness that makes all of life beautiful for a while. We do not know, though, that it is the heart which we heard in that moment of losing ourselves. We believe that it is the scene that brought us tranquility. And at times, when we get tired of ourselves, of our perpetual endeavors, then we return to that magical scene. We try to find again the lost piece. If we again drop our mental noise for a while, surely the call of the heart is heard once more. So we return fulfilled. But if we keep the mindsets on then the scene does not seem to carry the old glory. But if we keep the mindsets on, then the scene does not seem to carry the old glory which it had that day. We merely add some more mental notes to it and say, yesterday's sunset was more beautiful, thus cutting off totally the little lilt that sounds from the heart even above the mind's din. The next subheading is, in all moments of intensity. In all moments of intensity. It is the same with every beautiful moment that we savor in our lives. While prattling or gurgling with an infant, while patting the smooth neck of a frisky calf, while rolling across the room with a toddler, while giggling with young girls, or laughing outright with friends, while wading through a fresh stream, while catching glimpses of rainbows in morning dew. In all moments of great love and joy and peace, the heart calls out to us. Even in the depth of grief, in the burning anger, and the clarity of finding solutions to problems, algebraic or emotional, we hear the call of the heart. For in all moments of intensity, the incessant chatter of thoughts ceases just for a flash, a tiny pause. And in that pause, the heart's song becomes faintly audible. It is those rare moments, those magical pauses, when we forget ourselves without realizing it, when we lose ourselves in the magnitude of the object we are experiencing, or the emotion that sweeps us away, that which brings meaning to our lives. It is those moments that light our way, that make life worth living. And whether we acknowledge it or not, it is for those moments that we live, for times when we can melt away in the wonder of the other. Then Akka is going to introduce something very beautiful. She says, in the wonder of the other, but then she's going to turn it around. Little do we know that in that very melting, we find not the other, but our own very self, the heart. Thus, by losing ourselves entirely, by letting go of all sense of possession, we find ourselves entirely. I'll read that again. Thus, by losing ourselves entirely, by letting go of all sense of possession, we find ourselves entirely. And in finding ourselves, we truly find the other too. For the very self, the very heart that calls from here, from within us, calls from there, from within each and every being. The self-same heart shines as everyone, and the self-same heart keeps calling with the infinite patience of love for all to hear whenever they care to. The self is the heart, is the next subheading. The self is the heart. Why then don't we care to listen to the call of our heart? Do we not realize how beautiful it is, the heart-based life? How simple, how full, how natural and spontaneous, how fresh from moment to moment. Have we become so accustomed to the unbroken cacophony of the mind that we do not even remember the gentle tune of the heart? Well then, help is at hand. The heart has decided to manifest itself because it cannot wait much longer for us to recall its glory, for us to turn back to it with the marvelous reciprocity of love. The heart has put its song into words, the incisive words of Sadguru Ramana, which serve as repeated reminders of its presence. The call of the heart is made audible and played to us with the clarity of Ramana's words. The self is the heart, he says. It dances ever as I. Where? Everywhere. Should be simple, should be very simple, than to get related to it, to discover it once more, should it not? After all, the heart is everywhere, its light is everywhere, its song is everywhere. We can find it wherever we wish to, anywhere, anytime. Great news. Apparently not. We are scared of everywhere and always, says the author. We are scared of everywhere and always. We decide that what is everywhere is confusing. What is in a particular place, on the other hand, is fine. We can find it there. We can hunt for it and track it down, track it out. We are quite prepared to climb mountains, ride seas, cross deserts to find the hidden marvelous treasure. But let someone tell us that the treasure is all around us, within us, everywhere, and our reaction will only be of disgust. Treasure? All around? Everywhere? That's ridiculous. All around is no treasure, but the daily, regular, humdrum world that I have been seeing, hearing, smelling, touching, tasting, day in and day out. This is no treasure. And within us, true, the functioning of the human body is a major miracle in a sense. But that's no treasure either. It's commonplace, just the same in millions of others down through the ages. All this cannot be the treasure of treasures, the heart, the self. It ought to be something very special. Besides, something that is everywhere carries no significance for me. It is not particular, not unique to me, and hence I don't find it of interest. The earth is everywhere. It is our mother, it nurtures us, gives us food and shelter naturally. But no, that does not satisfy us. We must draw boundaries, fence in a particular piece of land and call it ours, mine. Then alone are we happy. Having limited ourselves to a given form, we care only for those things which bear a specific relationship to that form. Better still, which are possessed by that form. It does not matter to us that we cannot really possess the earth. We cannot carry it away with us anywhere, least of all when we leave this abode for good. What we at best possess is only a piece of paper giving us the right to use that land. Nonetheless, it is possession alone which renders anything and everything meaningful to us, be it land or love. The heart is where the I is. The heart is where the I is. So it is infinite compassion. Bhagavan recognizes that we will never bother to hear the call of the heart that is resounding everywhere. We are in effect telling him, stop kidding us. Stop confusing us by abstract terms like everywhere, which we cannot understand. Tell us where the heart is, and then perhaps we can try getting tuned to it. And caring for us as he does, despite all our indifference, our beloved Sadguru Ramana comes down to us as it were. He says, fine, have it your way. Do you want to know where the heart is? Well, the answer is simple, very simple. The heart is where the I is. He says, fine, have it your way. Do you want to know where the heart is? Well, the answer is simple, very simple. The heart is where the I is. Seems simple, as he says, doesn't it? It should be. After all, which of us could say we don't know where the I is? We are, each of us is, each one of us is living only with an I, is it not? Indeed, without the I, there is no life for us. So we must surely be knowing all about it. What it's like, its shape and color, its temperament and tenement, its comings and goings. Hey, does it come and go? Does it change? Does the I grow? My body grows. Do I grow with it? My body decays. Do I decay with it? Does every change in my body bring about a change in the I, in me, as I believe myself to be? No, not really. Indeed, not at all. I may or may not change with the transformations in my body. So I am independent of it. Let me go back a bit and say and read what Bhagavan says to us as to where the heart is. He says, fine, have it your way. Do you want to know where the heart is? Well, the answer is simple, very simple. The heart is where the I is. Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Ramanaya.
Namo Ramana. We will now have a guided self-enquiry session by Shri Dileep Simha. He will be sharing with us a few thoughts about self-enquiry, and there will be a practice of self-enquiry session also.
नमो रमण ध्यायेत् शारदचन्द्रसुन्दरमुखम् ताम्रारविन्देक्षणम् भक्ताभीष्टवराभयप्रदकरम् कौपीनमात्रोज्ज्वलम् स्वात्मानन्दरसानुभूतिविवशम् सर्वानवद्याङ्गकम् श्रीमन्तं श्रीरमणेश्वरं गुरुवरम् योगासनाध्यासितम् ध्यायेत् श्रीरमणेश्वरम् ध्यायेत् श्रीरमणेश्वरम् ध्यायेत् श्रीरमणेश्वरम् हृदयकुहरमध्ये केवलं ब्रह्ममात्रम् अहमिति साक्षादात्मरूपेण भाति हृदि विषमनसा स्वं चिन्वतामच्युतवल् पवनचलनरोधात् आत्मनिष्ठो भवत्वम्। Namo Ramana. We will commence the Atma Vichara by listening to Bhagavan's Upadesha. I will be reading his Upadesha from the book Guru Vachaka Kopai, from the chapter Meditation on the Truth, and the topic is Aids to Enquiry. Verse number 758. The best way of quelling the movement of the mind, that as the perceiver, the objects perceived, and the act of perception runs far and wide, is that of employing the mind to see itself through itself. I repeat, the best way of quelling the movements of the mind, that as the perceiver, the object perceived, and the act of perception, which runs far and wide, is that of employing the mind to see itself through itself. Here, Bhagavan is letting us know that it is the mind who has turned as a policeman and looking for the thief. And in this approach, we are never to find the thief, no matter how far and wide we run with it in this approach. Therefore, the best way of quelling all this is to make the mind see the mind itself. So, Atma Vichara, this is put as an aid to enquiry. So the enquiry, who am I, is to make the mind enquire about itself. What is its source, or where from it has arisen. When it does so, by attending itself as the object of perception, itself as the perceiver, and itself as the act of perception, when when the mind is really attending to a object external, which may be gross or subtle, then there are three divisions: the perceiver, the object of perception, and the act of perception. When these three divisions are removed in the mind, by making the mind see itself, then that mind will quieten down, will settle down at its source, as Nandakumarji read out. That it is the I is nothing but this. Is the seat of I is in the heart. The mind, the seat of mind, which rises in the form of many thoughts, including the I thought, is in the heart. When the divisions are removed in the mind, then the mind will subside in the heart. And that is the best way of quelling its movement. And it is not by any amount of knowledge or any amount of external dwelling that will help. The best way, therefore, is to see the mind by mind itself. And why? And that's why Bhagavan brings the mind which was perceiving any object, any thought. A thought is also an object. Anything, he makes us inquire, to whom is this? And the answer will come, it is for me. And thereupon, he diligently asks us to inquire, who am I? And by putting this question, who am I? The mind tries to find itself. And when it does so, by looking at the source of the I, when it does so, wherefrom this I rises, when it does so, then it subsides unknowingly, it takes a dip in the heart. And therefore, the inquiry, who am I, though we need not have an answer, we not answer the question, who am I, but we need to trace the thought, the source of the mind, the source of the I. When we do that, we find ourselves in the heart, in the self. And therefore, this is the direct path of getting back into the heart. This Atma Vichara has been given to us to abide in our natural state and let go of this whole imaginary differences that are created by attributing reality to the mind and its division. The immense grace of Bhagavan, with which alone we have come to this most direct path. For the next 10 minutes, let us practice Atma Vichara. Bhagavate
Namo Ramana. We will now have the sharing of Ramanacentre by Sri Ujwal Jagadeesh.
Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. We have been meditating on the verses of Ramanacentre written by Ganapati Muni and which have been compiled by Ramana himself. And when we say that Ramana has compiled it himself, so his complete assurance of those words are there. The words which are spoken by Ganapati Muni, it has a seal of approval from Bhagavan Ramana. And Ganapati Muni says, "O Ramana, it is your gracious glance which makes every work get its phala. And it is your Upadesha which destroys all ignorance and makes us understand truth." That is the assurance which Ramana is giving through these verses by Ganapati Muni. In those verses, Ganapati Muni sings, "Prasaratadita shubhavilokitam ramanate sakrit phalatu me kritam Ramana janminam Vaibhavan guru abhidashaya stava mahanuru Jagadaham para spurati me trayam sadabidam gira tava visamshayam tvadupadeshato galati samvida mayi niranyaya sadahamorbida jagadaham para spurati metrayam sadabidam gira tava visamshayam tvadupadeshato galati samvida mayi niranyaya sadahamorbida na karuna guna ramana tava vidampate ramana hridaya tejasa ramana sahaja vaivate ramana harisu nannede ninna karune notava ramanane sukritavu phalava ಗಳಿಸಲಿ ರಮಣನೇ ಗುರು ಸಕಲ ಜೀವಕ್ಕೂ ಅಭೇದ ಅನಂತವು ನಿನ್ನ ಹೃದಯವು ಜಗಜೀವ ಪರ ಮುರಾಗಿ ಸ್ಫುರಿಸದೆ ಏಕಾತ್ಮವಾಗಿದೆ ತವ ನುಡಿ ನಿಸ್ಸಂಶಯ ತ್ವದುಪದೇಶದಿ ಜ್ಞಾನ ಅರಳಿತು ನನಗೂ ಸತ್ಯಕ್ಕೂ ಇರುವ ಭೇದ ಅಳಿಯಿತು ಕರುಣೆ ಗುಣಬಲ್ಲ ರಮಣ ನಿನಗೆ ಒಡೆಯನೇ ರಮಣ ಹೃದಯದಿ ಹೊಳೆಯುವ ರಮಣ ಸಹಜ ಸ್ವರೂಪವೇ ರಮಣ. Ganapati Muni says, "O Ramana, your Upadesha is so clear, so direct, that it makes us realize that what we are searching, we already are." The example of a dancer who had just finished her dance program in the night and she was very, very tired. So in that tiredness, she just removed half of her jewelry and she went to her bed to sleep. And next day morning, she woke up fresh and she thought she should finish the work that she had left half because she was very, very tired last night. So she wanted to keep all the jewelries back into their jewel box so that they can be used next time without any problem and she can find it out easily the next time. So when she was placing and arranging all her jewelry in her jewelry box, she just realized that one of her long chain was missing. That long chain made of pure gold was missing and she was distressed and she started searching everywhere on her bed. She removed the bed sheet and under the pillow and down and up the cot and all over down the room and everywhere in the house and all the cupboards. But she could not find it. She called all her friends, and all her friends also started searching for it everywhere. And somebody found something and they told, "Hey, I found something. Is this the one you are searching for?" There's a joy of, we've got the something. But everybody replied, no, this is not the one I'm searching for. It is something else. And then again, somebody in that corner said, "Is this the one? Something glittery. I see it. What is it?" It's not the chain that was missing. It was something else. So all the friends and that dancer are really tired, and they sit down, and the dancer cannot control her tears, and she says, "That was my favorite necklace, very, very dear to me, given by a very special person. I have lost it. I'm very, very sad." She's all crying, and all the friends helplessly, they are talking to that dancer, trying to console her. They say, "How was this, the chain that you had lost? Was it a long chain or a short chain?" And she describes it is a long chain. "And what is the design it is made up of?" And she says it is made up of coins. The Kasi mala, the mala which is made up of coins with Lakshmi imprinted on all the coins. Such was that mala. And she describes, and it was so beautifully carved and made. And she is describing this to her friends. And one of the friends sees her neck and says, "You're wearing a necklace. Was it similar to that?" And the dancer looks at the chain that she is wearing, and she says, "Yes, that the chain which I have lost, the necklace which I have lost, looks exactly like this." And then at the next moment, she realized, "Oh my God, this is the necklace I've been searching for." And all the friends laugh at her and say, "You have been wearing your necklace all your while, and you have been searching for it, and so distressed that you have not found it." The necklace that we are searching for, Ramana says, it's already with us. It is our own true nature. We are all searching for limitless joy, the joy which is unalloyed by fear or sorrow. That joy is our own true nature. We are searching for peace. We have a beautiful song in one of our dance ballet, Prashanta Ramana, "Shantiye Navu, Parama Shantiye Navu, Anupama Shantiye Navu, Adarindale Shantiya Hudukuvevu, Shantiye Navu." We are peace. We are that supreme Parama Shanti. And we are Anupama Shanti. Anupama is nothing can equal that Shanti that we are. That is the reason we are searching for it. But we are searching for it in the wrong place. We have forgotten that we are wearing the necklace on our own neck, but we are searching for it everywhere else. So Ramana reminds us to look within, to look at the place where it is there. So he reminds us and says that Ramana heluvanu nimmolage nammolage navu nodidare. Ramana heluvanu nammolage navu nodidare. Shantiye navu Parama Shantiye navu. Ramana reminds us that we are that we are searching for. So we are not different from the truth that we are searching for. By your Upadesha or Ramana, I have realized by this divine jnana that I and the truth that I am searching for are not different, but we are one and the same. So this is the truth which Ramana gives us through Ganapati Muni, and he assures that that state which was experienced by him, experienced by jnanis who realize that there is no others for a jnani, that supreme state of oneness can be realized by everyone. Because Ramana says, "I only see jnana everywhere. I don't see any ajnanis. Even in ajnanis, I only see the jnana tattva which pervades everyone." So Ramana assures that we are all jnana tattva. Only thing is, we need to turn within and realize this truth. And Ramana, with his sweet Upadesha, just like the call of the heart, is reminding us every moment to get back to our own true nature, which is limitless bliss. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya.
Namo Ramana. We will now have the chanting of Aksharamanamalai by Srimati V. Radha along with Vallabh.
Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala. வீடு விட்டீர் துள வீடு புக்கு பயவுன் வீடு காட்டினை அருள் அருணாச்சலா. வெடி விட்டேன் உன் செயல் வெறுத்திடாதுன் அருள் வெடிவே தென்னைக்கா அருணாச்சலா. வேதாந்தத்தே வேரற விளங்கும் வேத பொருள் அருள் அருணாச்சலா. வைதலை வாழ்த்தா வைத்தருள் குடியா வைத்தென்னை விடாதருள் அருணாச்சலா. அம்பு வில்லாலி போல் அன்புரு உன்னில் என்னை அன்பா கரைத்தருள் அருணாச்சலா. அருணை என்றென்னையான் அருள் கண்ணிப்பட்டேன் முன்னருள் வல்லை தப்புமோ அருணாச்சலா. சிந்தித்தருள் பட சிலந்தி போல் கட்டி சிறையீட்டுண்டனை அருணாச்சலா. அன்போடு நாமம் கிளம்பர்த்தம் அன்பரு கண்பனாயிட அருள் அருணாச்சலா. என் போலும் தீனரை இன்புற காத்து நீ என்னாலும் வாழ்ந்தருள் அருணாச்சலா. என் கண்பர்த்தம் என் சொற்கள் செவியும் என் பொன்மொழி கோள அருள் அருணாச்சலா. பொறுமாயம்பூதர புன் சொல்லை நன் சொல்ல பொறுத்தருள் இஷ்டம் பின் அருணாச்சலா. மாலை அளித்தருணாச்சல ரமண என் மாலை அணிந்தருள் அருணாச்சலா. மாலை அளித்தருணாச்சல ரமண என் மாலை அணிந்தருள் அருணாச்சலா. அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சல சிவ 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 அருணாச்சலா. அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சலா. அருணாச்சல சிவ அருணாச்சலா. அருணாச்சலம் வாழி அன்பர்களும் வாழி. அக்ஷரமணமாலை வாழி. நமோ நமோ.
Namo Ramana. We will conclude today's satsang with the Ashtottara puja to Bhagavan. The puja will happen at Dileep Simha's altar. The Ashtottaram will be chanted by Vaibhavji, Prarthana and Revathi Shankar. Namo Ramana.
नमो रमणा. भारद्वाज विश्वनाथ विरचितम् श्रीरमणाष्टोत्तर शतनामावलिः अपार सच्चित् सुखवारिराशे यस्योर्विमात्रं भुवनं समस्तम् गुहाहितं तं रमणं गभीरं चिन्ताविहीनं हृदि चिन्तयामि. ॐ महासेन महंसेन जाताय नमः. ॐ श्रीरमणाय नमः. ॐ गुरवे नमः. ॐ अखण्ड संविदाकाराय नमः. ॐ महौजसे नमः. ॐ कारणोद्भवाय नमः. ॐ जगद्धितावताराय नमः. ॐ श्रीभूमिनाथस्थलोस्थिताय नमः. ॐ पराशरकुलोत्तंसाय नमः. ॐ सुन्दरार्यतपःफलाय नमः. ॐ कमनीयसुचारित्राय नमः. मानसाय नमः ॐ स्वर्णहस्तकाय नमः ॐ श्रीमद्द्वादशान्तमहास्थले लब्धविद्योदयाय नमः ॐ महाशक्तिनिपातेन प्रबुद्धाय नमः ॐ परमार्थविदे नमः ॐ तीव्राय नमः ॐ पितृपदान्वेषिणे नमः ॐ इन्दुमौलिना पितृमते नमः ॐ पितुरादेशतः शोणशैलं प्राप्ताय नमः ॐ तपोमयाय नमः ॐ उदासीनाय नमः ॐ महायोगिने नमः ॐ महोत्साहाय नमः ॐ कुशाग्रदिये नमः ॐ शान्तसङ्कल्पसंरम्भाय नमः ॐ सुसन्दृशे नमः ॐ सवित्रे नमः ॐ स्थिराय नमः ॐ तपक्षपितसर्वाङ्गाय नमः ॐ पुल्लाम्बुजविलोचनाय नमः ॐ चन्द्रिकासितहासश्रीमण्डिताननमण्डलाय नमः ॐ चूतवाट्यां समासीनाय नमः ॐ चूर्णिकाखिलविभ्रमाय नमः ॐ वेदवेदान्ततत्त्वज्ञाय नमः ॐ चिन्मुद्रिणे नमः ॐ त्रिगुणातीताय नमः ॐ विरूपाक्षगुहावासाय नमः ॐ विराजदशलकृतये नमः ॐ उद्दीप्तनयनाय नमः ॐ पूर्णाय नमः ॐ रचिताचलताण्डवाय नमः ॐ गम्भीराय नमः ॐ परमाचार्याय नमः ॐ सुप्रसन्नाय नमः ॐ अभयप्रदाय नमः ॐ दक्षिणास्य निधाय नमः ॐ धीराय नमः ॐ दक्षिणाभिमुखाय नमः ॐ स्वराजे नमः ॐ महर्षये नमः ॐ भगवते नमः ॐ ईड्याय नमः
ॐ भूमविद्याविशारदाय नमः ॐ विमलाय नमः ॐ दीर्घदर्शिने नमः ॐ आप्ताय नमः ॐ ऋजुमार्गप्रदर्शकाय नमः ॐ समदृशे नमः ॐ सत्यदृशे नमः ॐ सत्याय नमः ॐ प्रशान्ताय नमः ॐ अमितविक्रमाय नमः ॐ सुकुमाराय नमः ॐ सदानन्दाय नमः ॐ मृदुभाषिणे नमः ॐ दयार्णवाय नमः ॐ श्रीशोणाचलहृद्भूतस्कन्दाश्रमनिकेतनाय नमः ॐ सद्दर्शनोपदेष्ट्रे नमः ॐ सद्भक्तवृन्दपरिवृताय नमः ॐ गणेशमुनिभृङ्गेन सेविताङ्घ्रिसरोरुहाय नमः ॐ गीतोपदेशसारादिग्रन्थसञ्चिन्नसंशयाय नमः ॐ वर्णाश्रममतातीताय नमः ॐ रसज्ञाय नमः ॐ सौम्याय नमः ॐ आत्मवते नमः ॐ सर्वावनिमतस्थानाम् आराध्याय नमः ॐ सर्वसद्गुणिने नमः ॐ आत्मारामाय नमः ॐ महाभागाय नमः ॐ मातृमुक्तिविधायकाय नमः ॐ विनताय नमः ॐ विनुताय नमः ॐ विप्राय नमः ॐ मुनीन्द्राय नमः ॐ पावकोज्ज्वलाय नमः ॐ दर्शनादघसंहारिणे नमः ॐ मौनेन स्वात्मबोधकाय नमः ॐ हृच्छान्तिकरसान्निध्याय नमः ॐ स्मरणाद्बन्धमोचकाय नमः ॐ अन्तस्तिमिरचण्डांशवे नमः ॐ संसारार्णवतारकाय नमः ॐ शोणाद्रीशस्तुतिद्रष्ट्रे नमः ॐ हार्दविद्याप्रकाशकाय नमः ॐ अविच्युतनिजप्रज्ञाय नमः ॐ नैसर्गिकमहातपसे नमः। ॐ कमण्डलुधराय नमः। ॐ शुभ्रकौपीनवसनाय नमः। ॐ गुहाय नमः। ॐ दण्डपाणये नमः। ॐ कृपापूर्णाय नमः। ॐ भवरोगभिषग्वराय नमः। ॐ स्कन्दाय नमः। ॐ देवतमाय नमः। ॐ अमर्त्याय नमः। ॐ सेनान्ये नमः। ॐ पुरुषोत्तमाय नमः। ॐ श्रीरमण भगवते नमः। श्रीरमणाष्टोत्तरशतनामपूजां समर्पयामि। यस्थाणोररुणाचलस्य पदयोः स्मृत्या जनिं प्राप्यत दिव्यानुग्रहसुप्रवाहविवशस्तादात्म्यभावं गतः वृन्निष्ठस्वगभीरनित्यतपसा लोकान् पुनास्येकराट् तस्मै श्रीरमणाय ते नम इदं लोकोत्तरज्योतिषे। नमो 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 रमण सदाशिव प्रभावरण नमो महर्षि। नमो महर्षि दर्शन सुख मंगल मुख सकल जीवहित सम्मुख ब्रह्म संघिये सदा तुष्ट सदा हृष्ट सदा शिवानंद पुष्ट परम महर्षि ब्रह्मनिष्ठ समदर्शी नमो 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 रमण सदाशिव प्रभावरण नमो महर्षि। नमो महर्षि ನಮ್ಮ ಮನವದೊಂದು ಕಾಡು ನೀನರಿತಿಹೆ ಅದರ ಜಾಡು ಹಿತವನರಿತು ನೀಡುತ್ತೆಮ್ಮ ಕೊರೆಯ ತಣಿಸಲೈ ಬೇಡಲೆಂದು ಬಂದ ನಾವು ನೋಡಿಯೇ ತಣಿವೆವಯ್ಯ ಮೂಡಿಗಾರನೇ ಹಿತವ ನುಡಿದು ಪೊರೆ ನಮ್ಮನು ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಸಂಘಿಯೇ ನಮೋ 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 ರಮಣ ಸದಾಶಿವ ಪ್ರಭಾವರಣ ನಮೋ ಮಹರ್ಷಿ ನಮೋ ಮಹರ್ಷಿ ನಮೋ 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 ರಮಣ ಸದಾಶಿವ ಪ್ರಭಾವರಣ ನಮೋ ಮಹರ್ಷಿ ನಮೋ महर्षि। बोलो भगवान श्री रमण महर्षि की जय।